So now let's talk about the design table feature. The design table feature depends entirely on Microsoft Excel for creating configuration. So you need to have Microsoft Excel in your PC installed in order to use it. Now using design table, we can create configurations. So here, if I go to this configuration manager, you'll notice that we just have one single configuration. That's this M10-flange, and we can create as many as we like using design table. So let's go to this insert option, table, and right here we have Excel design table that we are going to be using in this example. All right. So in the source, select auto create. In the edit control, select allow model edits to update the design table, and in options, select all of these options. So basically we are just going with the default settings that is already set here. With that, click OK, and it will automatically create an Excel design table that just looks like this. So that's the design table. And on top of this, you can also see all the Excel tools here in the ribbon area. Now, it will also list all the parameters which are used for this particular drawing. So in this case, we have bolt dia, bolt height, and all of these other parameters, which I have named properly just to identify these things clearly. So if you want to include just a few of these, control select the one which you want to include and then click OK. And if you want to include all of these parameters in your design table, then select the first and shift select the last. I want to include everything, so I'll select it all and click OK. And here we are, the design table is added. Now let me just expand this design table slightly like that. And here are all the parameters listed. Now M10-flange is the default one with all of these options. So they are already added here. And once again, if you want to add a new configuration, all you need to do is just go here and add the configuration and its proper values. Now there is one word of caution. Don't click outside this design table when you are making changes here, because if you do, the design table will simply close and it won't just exit out without saving settings. It will save the settings inside this table folder, but it will close abruptly. So if you don't want that, well, just make sure that you are clicking inside this. If you want to, however, move this part, then press and hold Control and then move it using your middle mouse wheel. In this way, you can preserve the design table as well. Now here, I'll start adding just a few flanges. So I'll maybe type M12 and then M14 and maybe one for M16. So we've got these flanges added. Not actually flanges, but actually bolts added. Now here, to add all of these parameters, well, once again, we'll simply click the cell and just add it manually. So the first one is bolt diameter, which is 10. So M12 will have a diameter of 12. This one will have a dia of 14 and M16 will have a dia of 16. Then we have height of this bolt. That's this entire height. That's 60. All right. For M12, let's make it 60 again. And for M14, I want 90 unit height. And for this one, M16, I want 120 mm height. Now we have the head dia. Head dia is the diameter of the hexagon which was used for creating this head here. And that's the internal circle for which we want to add the dia. So the head dia for M10 was 17 and for M12 it is 19, M14 it is 22 and M16 it is 24. All right. Now this one is the bolt head height, and actually there are two values because this bolt head is created with a cylinder as well as a hexagon. So it's a combination of these two, and both of these should have equal heights. So for M10 it is 6.4, for M12 it is 7.5, and for M14 it is 8.8, and for M16 it is 10. Now I'm going to just copy and paste these values right here as well because they should be exactly the same. Now we have the head fillet, and that's this fillet right about here. So the head fillet is 2. For M10, I'm going to make it 2.2. For M12, 2.4 and 2.6. Similarly, we have the flange dia, and flange is this thing right here. So flange dia is 28. Let's just make it 30. For M12, 32 and 34. All right. And this is 1 mm flange height. So I'll just make it 1.1, 1.2 and 1.4. All right. So these are now new parameters which are added. Now with these parameters, let's just click outside and SolidWorks will show you this message. So it is just creating these new configurations. Just click OK and the new configurations are added. Now all these configurations are Excel configuration. As you can see, we have this Excel symbol which indicates that these are Excel configurations, and if you want to check it, simply double click this Excel sign and the configuration will show the changes. So here I'll double click and the changes are clearly visible. Alright, now in this case, we are only making small changes, but there is no suppression of feature or maybe not even a material. Now, if you want to add feature suppression as well as if you want to just apply different materials to different configurations, you can do that as well. But in order to do it, you need to first make these changes inside the feature tree. So I'll go to feature tree, and here, as you can see, we have the flange feature right here. So I'll simply right click here and select suppress. Alright, so now I've made a change inside this main configuration, which is M10-flange. Now I'll also go to material and I'll add a new material. So I'll go to edit material, and here I'll maybe select plain carbon steel, apply, select yes if this prompt shows up, and just close it. So now we have made these two changes, and SolidWorks will record these changes the next time you open design table. So let's go to this configuration manager, expand the table folder, select design table, right click and select edit table. Now, here we are, we've got these changes listed here. So there are several changes which SolidWorks recognizes here, and it will just list all the changes which it found, but we are interested in only two changes. The first one is this flange, which is its state, suppress or unsuppress state, and the second one is material. So we are going to just control select these two options, and with that I'll click OK. And now SolidWorks will add these two extra options here in our design table. So for the first one, we have plain carbon steel selected, and that's the material applied, but for rest of these there is no material selected. So let's just add it here. So I'll click here, then this drop down, and from here you can select a material. Here maybe select cast alloy steel. For this one, I'll select maybe brass, and for last one, let's select copper. All right. Now this S indicates suppressed state. As you can see here, S is for suppressed, U is for unsuppressed. Now M10-flange has the suppressed state. Now in some of these, maybe if you want to create a completely new configuration with suppressed and unsuppressed state, well, you can do that too. Let's try it. So I've got this M12. I'll just select it, but before actually selecting, let's just add few lines. So I'll right click here and select insert. So we've got one here, then I'll select this and select insert. All right, and finally I'll select M16 and select insert. So we've got these blank lines added. Now I'm going to select it all, Control C, and right here Control V. So it will just make copy of this. But then we have the suppressed one. So here I'll hide the flange option. Flange will show for unsuppressed, and now I'm going to change this to U. So for unsuppressed, the flange will show, and in this one, flange won't show. So for that, I'll select suppressed. In a similar way, I'll give, well, new names for this one. So maybe I'll first start with this, Control C and Control V. Here also, Control C and Control V, and for M16 too, Control C and Control V. Now, let's create a suppressed and unsuppressed version. So here I'll select dash flange. For M14 as well, dash flange. And finally for M16 as well, dash flange. All right. Now, wherever we have the flanges, I'll make sure that it is unsuppressed. And for the second one, it should be suppressed. This one has no flange, so it should be suppressed. Once again, unsuppressed and suppressed, unsuppressed, and this should be suppressed. So we've added all these suppression states. Now with all these changes, let's just click outside, and we have several new states added here, the configuration. So click OK, and here we are. Now, before actually checking it, let's just save it. All right, so now that it is saved, I'll just go to this M12, and here it is, the M12 without flanges. If you want to select M12 with flange, double click this, and then we have M12 with flange. Similarly, M14 without flange and M14 with flange. And of course, you can see the material property as well. So it is changing as we are changing the configuration. So that's how you can use design table to create configurations with several different properties.